I'm gonna be brutally honest. Your autistic brain deserves a lobotomy. So when I was in high school, for example, there used to be this moment when I was talking to some pretty girls and I was making them laugh and I could not find my bag. And I was like, oh, I did not forget the bag, because if I had forgotten it, I would have remembered that I forgot the bag, but I don't remember that I forgot the bag, therefore I did not forget the bag. Now, naturally, you might be hearing this and think that, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. Because if I remembered that I forgot the bag, I wouldn't forget it in the first place. Like, the whole point of forgetting something is that you don't remember forgetting it. But yet, this is like what my brain came up with. My brain literally came up with this thought that, oh, I did not forget, because if I did forget, I would have remembered that I forgot, but I don't remember that I forgot, so I did not forget. So I said that to girls. And literally like a few minutes later, I saw like my classmate being like, here, you forgot your bag! And it was pretty embarrassing because it happened in front of those pretty girls. And basically, this classmate proved my brain wrong. However, there would be many more occasions where I would leave something, and the first thought that would come to mind would always be, oh no, I did not forget that thing, because if I did forget that, I would have remembered that I forgot that. But I don't remember that I forgot that, therefore I did not forget that. And then I would always find out that I did indeed forget that. And my brain would always be proven wrong. And yet my brain still kept thinking, oh, I did not forget that, because if I did forget that, I would have remembered that I forgot that. And so, for example, 1 year ago, I was looking for this, like, shirt, and I was like, oh no, I cannot find it. Did I forget that? Oh no, if I forgot that, I would have remembered that I forgot that. But I don't remember forgetting that, so I could not have forgotten that. And after years and years of evidence proving my brain wrong, you would think that my brain finally learned a lesson. But no. Every single time I could not find something and I started thinking, maybe it's a possibility that I might have forgotten it. Literally the first thought my brain would always conjure would be, oh no, I did not forget that, because if I did forget that, I would have remembered that I forgot that, but I don't remember forgetting that, so I did not forget that. Because brains, especially of autistic people, are stupid. And I'm gonna explain why in a few minutes, but first I want to give you another example. Another example was when, like, my parents basically gave me constructive criticisms that I talk in a funny way. And I responded to them by basically lashing out at them, which I will be honest is something I kind of regret doing. But I was basically listening to my stupid brain, which is why I lashed out at my family, and I was like, I don't sound funny, I sound amazing, I sound like Elvis Presley when I speak. And I know that, because if I sounded funny, then all the pretty girls would tell me that I sound funny. I don't sound funny at all because pretty girls don't tell me that. It is only you who think that. It is only your stupid opinion. But if you once again think logically about this, you would be like, wait a second, but why the hell would pretty girls tell me that I sound funny? They don't want to hurt my feelings, right? But my brain did not comprehend this. And so I started getting like criticism later when I started this channel, and I got criticism that I sound autistic, and I was like, oh no, I only sound like this on camera. When I talk to pretty girls, I sound like Elvis Presley. How do I know that? because all the pretty girls would have told me that I sound autistic if I really sounded autistic. And it doesn't make sense because they would not want to hurt my feelings. Then there was this incident. It's basically a long story where basically a girl, like, it was 99% chance a pretty girl that I was talking to, because she had like no alibi. She basically accused me of being drunk, like, behind my back. So that literally proved that pretty girls think bad things about me, but they don't say that out loud because they don't want to hurt my feelings. And I remember, like, literally crashing out once I realized that, which I will also explain in a few minutes why that is. But then recently on this channel and on the internet, I started getting criticisms that I give off a scary vibe when I talk. Maybe even in this video as well. And I was like, oh no, I only give off a scary vibe on camera. I don't give off a scary vibe when I'm talking to pretty girls, because pretty girls don't tell me that I give off a scary vibe. When I talk to pretty girls, I sound like Elvis Presley. But pretty girls, here's the thing. Yes, it is true that pretty girls have not told me that I have a scary vibe or anything. But they neither told me that I sound like Elvis Presley. So why the hell do I think that I sound like Elvis Presley when I talk to girls? This doesn't make any sense. But yet my brain just keeps thinking, oh no, I am super charismatic when I talk to pretty girls, because if I really was horrible around pretty girls, then the pretty girls would have told me that. And now allow me to explain why my brain is this retarded. And that is because I am diagnosed with autism, and this is how autistic brains work. Not all autistic brains work to the same degree, because autism is a spectrum, but it is autism nonetheless. Now, the thing about autistic people, like, one of the things that causes autism, and this is what Temple Grandin actually discovered in, like, autistic children, is that in normal people, the brains have a specific algorithm that can basically form abstractions. And in autistic people, that algorithm simply is not present. Because it's a disability, her. So, yeah, that algorithm is not present in the brains of autistic people, and therefore autistic people are not able to form abstractions. And what do I mean by forming abstractions? Basically that, for example, if you want to know what a kitchen is, like, how do you define a kitchen? Most people are gonna be like, oh, if there's a stove, if there's an oven, if there's a fridge, then that place is basically a kitchen. But it doesn't work like that for autistic people. When you are autistic, then, like, imagine you being like, when you are a child, when you are like 3 years old, and for the first time your mother, like, shows you around the kitchen in your own house and is like, this, my boy, this is called kitchen. And then in your mind, a kitchen is only that place in your house. And then when you see another place that has a stove, an oven, and a fridge, and people say that is a kitchen, you're like, no, that's not a kitchen. A kitchen is the place in my house. The place in my house is called kitchen. That other place, it is not in my house, it is not kitchen. And so autistic people, like, they have very rigid worldviews. And even to the point that if you, like, move chairs around in your own kitchen, when you, like, move chairs around and you rearrange the furniture, some autistic children will literally have a meltdown and they will start crashing out, because to them it's no longer a kitchen, because the furniture has been too rearranged. It has been too changed that it can no longer be a kitchen. But to normal people, it's still a kitchen because it still has a stove, it still has an oven, it still has a fridge and all that. But not to the average autistic person. Now, you might think that I'm exaggerating. I mean, after all, I am autistic myself and I'm able to describe this to you. So, surely I must have enough knowledge to understand that a kitchen is not only the thing that is in my house. But this is why it is an autism spectrum. Because it is a spectrum. Like, me for example, I am able to understand what a kitchen is. But when it comes to other aspects in life, I am just as rigid as that like stereotypical autistic child that thinks a kitchen is only the thing that is in their house. And this is why, sure, it is a spectrum, but it is autism nonetheless. And so, autistic people will, to some varying degree, they will have very rigid worldviews. And not only that, but even if those worldviews get challenged, then those autistic people might go into panic mode. I want you to now think of like the most stereotypical autistic child, the kind of autistic children that get portrayed in movies that are like non-verbal, but they go like ah 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 ah. I know there is, for example, there was that one episode in House MD where there was this like autistic kid that was drawing worms. I don't know if you have seen that, but that kid, he was non-verbal, but he was, yeah, like, ah, 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 ah. So now, think of like the stereotypical autistic child that, like, for example, walks in squares. He keeps walking in squares. And if someone dares walking inside those squares, that child just starts going into panic mode and starts being like, ah, 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 ah! And then no one can calm that child down. That is you. And you might be thinking, no, I'm not walking in squares, I'm not some freak. No, but that is why it is called autism spectrum. You're not walking in squares if you have like high-functioning autism, but you still have some rigid worldviews to some degree. Like, for example, your brain keeps, for example, believing that if you don't remember that you forgot something, that means you did not forget that thing. And if pretty girls don't tell you bad stuff, that means there are no bad stuff about you. And if those worldviews get challenged, then maybe not you, because high-functioning autistic people are much better at like hiding and not crashing out the same way that like the deeply autistic children are. So you'll probably just get mildly annoyed on the outside. But on the inside, here is what your autistic brain is doing when you keep thinking that, oh, I did not forget that bag, because if I did forget, I would have remembered that I forgot this bag, but I don't remember forgetting it, therefore I did not forget that. And then your classmate walks into you and is like, here, you forgot your bag. You will be like slightly annoyed, but your brain is like, ah, 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 ah! Because autistic brains are retarded. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is how autism works. And once again, it is a spectrum. So like, high-functioning autistic people, yes, their brains will go into full panic mode, but on the outside, they will just look mildly annoyed. Meanwhile, like a deeply autistic child will not just go into meltdown on the inside, but on the outside as well, and they will basically like implode and self-destruct. And that is why my point is that you should not trust your brain. And your brain is not logical. Like, your brain will fucking keep telling you, oh, I did not forget that because I don't remember forgetting that. Oh, I sound like Elvis Presley when I talk to pretty girls because pretty girls never told me that I sound autistic. Yeah, like, it doesn't fucking matter how many mountains of evidence you would get that go against what your brain believes. Your brain will never fucking learn. Your brain will never fucking learn the lesson because your brain is so stupid and retarded. So you should not be trusting your brain whatsoever. And so instead, when you get those intrusive thoughts, because this is what they are. They are intrusive thoughts. Like, when your brain just keeps randomly thinking, oh, I did not forget that because if I did forget that, I would have remembered that I forgot that. Or, pretty girls don't think that I am X, Y, and Z because they haven't told me that I'm X, Y, and Z. When you get those intrusive thoughts, here is what you do. Here I managed to find this device. It is basically like an electronic screwdriver. Whenever you get those intrusive thoughts, you take the screwdriver and you point it like this and you say, no! Shut the fuck up, you retarded brain! So, let's picture a scenario. I cannot find my bag. Oh no, where did I leave my bag? Oh, I did not forget that because if I forgot that, I would have remembered that. No! Shut the fuck up, you retarded brain! Oh, I did not forget that, because I would have remembered. Shut the fuck up, you retarded brain! This will keep happening because your brain is so retarded that you will have to keep continuing. You'll have to keep continuing this process. Like, your brain will still never learn. Shut the fuck up, you retarded brain! Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I did not forget that because I would have remembered. Shut up! Oh, I did not forget that because I would have shut up! Oh, shh. It's okay. 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 This is how autistic brains work, by the way.